Hello everybody, it's Max McAllister from Traction Dynamics, and today I've got what was supposed to be a really cool video for you, but unfortunately I screwed up and I didn't have one half of my microphone system turned on. So I want to play this video for you, and I'm just going to kind of talk over the top of it. So I apologize for the ghetto nature of how this is coming out, but let me start by saying that we're doing a trunk relocation kit for the 2018-2019 Honda Goldwing, and when you back the trunk up, it leaves a gap of an inch and a half or so between the back of the saddle and the trunk, which looks awful. So I needed to find a company to produce a part for me, and I called around some, and the company that just jumped right onto the job was Sargent Cycle Products in Jacksonville, Florida. I dig that it's our products are going to be made in America here by this is American materials and workers and everything right here in Florida. So anyway, I'm going to start the video and kind of take you. We get to go on a tour through their factory, and we also get to kind of see what they went through to make our filler part for our Goldwing. So here we are outside Sargent Cycle Products, and it's a pretty good sized operation here, and as you'll see once we get inside, it's impressive. Sorry, there's reflections on, we're just filming my computer monitor here. It is what it is. Again, I'm going to apologize 100 times for this. This is Bobby, who's our tour guide, and he's one of the craftsmen there that that make the saddles. This is the showroom at Sargent Cycle Products, and they kind of had it set up real nice because this is Bike Week for Daytona. So if people were on their way traveling and they wanted to come check out Sargent Cycle Products, they had it open for people to come check out. So this is a display of lots of the many models of saddles they have there, and they have, they make the saddles complete. So they have service to reupholster existing saddles, which we'll show you later. And there was seat pans and heating elements there on display in the counter. And this is pretty cool. They have a really nice backrest system. And they might be doing something like this for the Honda Goldwing. But if you notice this is one of the slickest, infinitely adjustable backrests I've ever seen. And it's designed to be adjustable while you're driving the motorcycle with one hand. So you can reach back left or right-handed, grab those knobs, turn them, and reset the backrest if you're not comfortable. Tighten it back down and go back to riding, or without ever stopping to riding. So I thought that was pretty sweet. Obviously, they have multitudes of colors of fabrics and things like that to custom make a saddle to match whatever the look is on your motorcycle. They do not have a saddle for the 2018 Honda Goldwing yet, but I believe that's made it onto their list for something that they're going to work on. But so we'll have to watch for that to happen in the future. We've left the showroom, and now we've kind of gone into the production area, and you can see there's just tons of parts and components. This table we're looking at is a giant plotter that they lay huge sheets of leather and pleather and various fabrics that they would make a seat cover out of on, and this thing moves around, and this little tiny razor cutting wheel moves around onto the fabric and precisely cuts the shapes out on it. And this table's huge. Now, if you look close, this is all the places the little wheel, all these little scratches are places the wheel has moved over in its life while making cuts. This table's probably 8 feet wide and 16 feet long. It's big. Over here is some of the sewing areas, and this lady here that we'll see in a moment. Oh, here we went and we looked at. These are saddles that have come in to be recovered. So if you have a vintage bike or something kind of rare, they have stuff that they can do to make them replicas and copy them and make brand new looking, restore your old saddle. to look new. This is Lola, and she's a pattern maker and seamstress master at that trade, and she was worked with getting our filler made, so she's kind of showing us some patterns that where they had started from, and we went through lots of iterations. So all of this these guys did in a day. These are all the soldiers that didn't make it through combat here, as we were trying to make up a nice piece that would look good to fill. They tried different materials and things to get a look and a feel and a fit to it. And in the end, they weren't happy with any of this. And so the second morning, they just decided to take a whole new method and make a hard-backed filler and the foam so that it held its shape real nice. And you'll get to see the end result here in a little while. So let's see, we're moving on around. These are all kinds of components here on the left that they use to build. And then this is some detail sites over here. These tables there are for detailing. And then these are for fitting, where they fit covers and foam to seat pans. So this is really a saddle assembly area there. So these workers each have a design, a product, a saddle that they're making there at that moment that they get all the components for, and then build it right there in their area. And then let's see, what else are we looking at here? Oh, here's our bike, and we're coming outside. Here's our trunk assembly. And I was showing you one of they had an idea to try a fabric that matched the dimpling pattern in the speakers. That was a pretty cool idea, but in the end it didn't look best. You know, it didn't match the saddle well enough, so they kind of scrapped that idea. That was another one of the projects that they attempted. And so he's kind of just showing how it'll be fit up. So with Velcro patches sewn, we're showing why my trunk couldn't be there. Our 3D printed plastic brackets broke while we were monkeying with it. So I couldn't have my saddle left on the bike. And actually he has fitted the finished filler to the trunk there. So it's got Velcro sewed to the back side of it, and then with adhesive Velcro on the plastic unseen parts that you don't see on the trunk, it's fitted to that. And so here's the trunk going into place. And there's the filler taking shape as we get it where it goes, where the saddle belongs. I'm really pleased with it. It looks really nice. They did a nice slick job of kind of making it upsweep. So it's funny, in this video the color looks a little different, but in person it doesn't. It's because it's at a different angle than the saddle. The sun is just reflecting on it. So the color is a nice black that matches the bike. It's just the lighting has made it look like it's a different shade. But looks super nice. It's formed real nice. And the cool setup about this is once that piece is Velcroed to the trunk, it'll never move from there, and you can still take the saddle on and off without disturbing the trunk piece. You won't have to deal with it. The saddle comes on and off as normal. Here we're kind of showing you some of the hard backing plates. There's this template, and there's one of the formed examples of the liner that's inside the piece to give it shape. So that was kind of cool. We had all that there. So I was really pleased with the outcome here. So I think we're gonna set the trunk back down, and there's more to see on our tour here. So a couple more minutes worth. So off we go in here. This is warehousing. These are all finished production saddles in here that they can ship on order. And he's taking us over in here. This is a thermoforming room, and in this room there's a worker that takes plastic and using molds that they have made, he is making seat pans. So Sargent Cycle Products, literally, it's really cool. I really can appreciate this. They make their product that they sell there completely and totally from scratch in their building. I think that's awesome. We do the same thing here at Traction Dynamics. So there is a thermoformed seat pan you can see there as it's come out of the mold before all the excess plastic is trimmed away. Excuse me. Now in this room, they have a system that is injecting foam into molds to make the foam bases that sit on top of the seat pans. And they have several different densities of foam depending on the model and the application. And sometimes they use 2 different levels of foam on top that interlock or on top of each other. So these studs here leave holes once the foam is pulled out of the mold. And then they can, if they're going to bond 2 different densities of foam together, they can be joined using some pieces in between those holes to connect them together so that they don't shift or slip. So he's shown us the holes here and how a piece might interlock with it. And so that big boom arm there you see, that just swings around from mold to mold to mold and injects each mold full of this goo that's in this giant tank right here. So there's that big tank of goo and then another agent in those drums up there that go to it. And all of these are individual molds that have been made to each make one different seat foam insert. So obviously tons of money involved in creating molds, and they've got a lot of molds there, so it goes into making these really sweet saddles they sell. And this is kind of the detailing room for the components. So somebody in here details the foams after they come out of the mold, and another guy cuts the seat panels out and details them, the pans, and then another guy is installing all this componentry you see here, hinges, mounting tabs. This is a little door so you can store your insurance card and a little money and things like that, or hide your wallet. So all those components are assembled into sub-assemblies, and everything's detailed and then stored, waiting on an order, and where they'll come grab, for instance, the foam, and then they find they're all numbered. They have a numbering system that they use internally there, and so they find a foam that matches the pan, and then the pan, they go together, bing bang boom, and there's the start of a saddle going together with that, which would head back into that final assembly area we showed you earlier, and where the workers put the covers and the pieces all together. Over in this corner there's a guy detailing seat pans there, so you can see they trim away the plastic, and now using these wheels they're deburring the edges and making them smooth and nice. And so then we move on through. This was cool. Believe it or not, so for saddles that have heated elements in them, they actually make their own electronic control units and all of the heating elements as well at Sargent Cycle Products. So I thought that was pretty awesome. So they've got a technician that builds all the electronic components. So that's kind of cool. Thought that was good. And then we move away from that area, and let's see, here's another room, I guess where they do some photography and prototyping and fitting and such. So we said, hey, are we allowed to be in here? And the boss of the room says, nope, get out. So we have to get out. So here we go, thrown out of there. That's good. Glad we asked before we got in trouble. And then I think we're pretty much kind of through the tour here. Look at tons of components. So this is a really neat business. I can really appreciate a company that goes literally from raw plastic, raw leather, and foam liquid. I'm not sure what you call the material, the agents that go into making foam, but literally raw materials to a finished saddle. So this is Sargent Cycle Products in Jacksonville, Florida, and here's me. I'm supposed to be signing off, and I always say don't forget to share my videos and subscribe to my channel, and hopefully I never have another one without sound and doing this ghetto videotape in here. So Thanks a lot for watching my video here today and taking a look inside Sargent Cycle Products, and watch for the nice filler that we sell to go along with that, which will be available hopefully here soon. So thanks a lot. This is Max. Talk to you soon. Bye.